My name is John Hostettler, and I've been asked by the Indiana Patriot Coalition to share with you an action plan that they've adopted in their effort to repeal ObamaCare. If that's of interest to you. A great conservative statesman, a former colleague of mine who still serves in the House of Representatives, Steve King from Iowa, has introduced a bill. Bill number is H.R. 4972. If you have one of those pins with you that can write underwater, you might want to take some things down. But anyway, it's H.R. 4972, and because of the rules of the House, the Speaker has sent the bill to the various committees of jurisdiction. It may come as a surprise to you, but Speaker Nancy Pelosi is not too excited about repealing ObamaCare. And as a result of that somewhat indifference, the bill is languishing in committee. It's stalled in committee. But the rules of the House that patriots and framers of the initial rules of the House allows for a discharge motion. A motion to discharge the bill from the committees of jurisdiction even over the objection of the Speaker of the House. And the problem is, at this point, that discharge petition, if you're writing things down, it's discharge petition number 11. That discharge petition only has about 170 signatures. Now that's actually, that's actually a great feat in such a short time. There's 170 patriots in the House of Representatives that have signed a petition to discharge Congressman King's bill out of the committee over Nancy Pelosi's objection and a very small head, and want to consider this bill. And if that discharge petition gets a majority of the House signatures, 218 signatures, then the rules require that bill is essentially discharged immediately from the committee, and the full House of Representatives has to consider it and has to vote it up or down. Well, what we've noticed in the last several weeks of what the Indianapolis Tea Party and the other folks in the Indiana Patriot Coalition have done is that people are beginning to say, yes, they're going to sign on to this discharge petition. And even though there's 170 signatures now, we believe that when the House goes back into session on Tuesday, that there's going to be more and more people that realize how close it's getting to November 2nd, that think they want to realize they want to sign this discharge petition. And once again, even though there's an election coming up and they're going to be recessing for that election to campaign over the next few weeks, that there is going to be a lame duck session. And if at some point there comes a time when there's 218 signatures, these folks in the House will have to vote on a bill to repeal ObamaCare. And so the action plan is this. If you want to know how you can help in your state and do the work similar to what the folks in Indiana are doing, you can go to IndianapolisTeaParty.com, and you can click on a subject line there that talks about this discharge petition. And there's no pride of authorship for any of this information. There's a petition there where you can have individuals all over your state sign a petition to their specific member of Congress, their specific member of the House of Representatives. They can send that into their congressman or congresswoman, and they can feel the heat. They can see the massive amount of support for repealing Obamacare even before Republicans take over in January. They can sign the petition, and then you can ask them very nicely, or not so nicely, however you're inclined, to sign the discharge petition. You can write them letters. So as I close, I want to just make you very aware of that website once again, IndianapolisTeaParty.com. It's got the information. Just change the state name from Indiana to Texas or Iowa or North Dakota or California or wherever, and change the name of your individual member of Congress, and send that information to them. Get them to commit to sign before the House recesses to campaign for election in November. Get them to commit that they will sign the discharge petition before that time. And if they have already signed the discharge petition, tell them thank you for their service to our country and to your district and to your state. If they haven't, then cajole them to do so. Ask them to sign on to H.R. 4972, Congressman King's bill, to actually repeal Obamacare. But whatever you do, before you hang up, if they signed it and you said thank you, if they haven't signed it and they said they will and you say thank you, or they say they're not going to sign it, whatever it is, make sure they understand this, that you will remember in November what they did in their patriotism and in their action to repeal the government's latest step in incrementalizing us towards socialized medicine. If you'll do that, then you're going to be a step ahead of the crowd, and if Democrats won't repeal it in 2010, then Republicans will do it in 2011. Keep the pressure on this administration. Keep the pressure on this administration through November of 2012 so that this issue stays front and center in the hearts and minds of Americans, where they understand that before we repeal Obamacare, we may have to just repeal President Obama. Thank you.